Hey, Brian. Congratulations on going on Piers Morgan. I watched you on there, and I had a feeling at some point you were going to be on there because I see how popular you're getting. So even though you and I disagree on a lot,
Well,
I
David,
commend
I
you for being able
appreciate
to do that.
I appreciate your kind words, David. If you don't mind me asking, where did you watch it?
I watched it on YouTube.
Okay, how did I do?
I mean, you act like the way you usually do on your show. Just, you don't really hold back, which, again, I disagree with you on a lot, but I commend you for speaking your mind. But the other thing is I really disagree with people like JoJo because she makes the Democrat Party look terrible, which I'm very thankful for because obviously I'm a Republican and I want them to look bad because I want them to lose. But she's just extremely obnoxious.
Well, hold on, David.
She had to be muted by Piers multiple times.
Hang on. Did I make? Now, I'm not a Democrat. I don't represent Democrats. But if I was,
well, Brad, I mean, you vote for them and you run defense for them constantly.
Okay,
you can
so
say you're not a Democrat, but you lean left, and even you admit you lean left.
I lean left on social issues. I don't represent anybody but myself, and I'm not a registered Democrat. But do I make Democrats look bad?
Yeah, I would say you do.
Okay, so give me an example. So give me an example.
Well, an example is just on Piers Morgan. I mean, you're yelling and screaming, and if you notice, the two Republicans didn't yell or scream, and let's just say, for sake of argument, they were wrong on every subject.
Which they were. They were.
Yep. Well, okay, or if you want to think that, that's fine.
Okay, so first of all, David, you're missing
a certain way.
David,
it's going to make you lose. Hence, why Democrats lost so badly last year.
David, first of all, it's called passion. I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs. Number two, hold on. Not on the Piers Morgan show. There are 4 people on the panel. There was a lot of interrupting. I didn't get a chance to chime in as much as
by JoJo.
Okay. Regardless, okay, there's a reason. That's number one. Number two, to give you some examples of what get me angry is when people ask stupid questions and when people don't provide the facts. Example, I'll give you a preview of what I'm talking about, and I will play some of this stuff on the show tomorrow. Michael Knowles, who I think is a right-wing buffoon, made the case that there was all this fentanyl in George Floyd's body, and that's why he died. Now, that is a lie because there were actual 2 autopsies, and both autopsies did not say the cause of death was drug overdose. The cause of death was asphyxiation. That's why I raise my voice, because what happens is these people spread blatant misinformation. You also had Matt Schlong, as I like to call him. Hold on.
He tried to reply to you, and then guess what? JoJo wouldn't stop screaming.
Okay. But hold on. Let's focus on me for a moment. I'm not going to speak for other people. I'm happy to have Michael Knowles join me on this program, and we could have a 1-hour debate.
I hope it happens.
Okay,
I really do.
I'm happy to do that. But I am not making anybody look bad by, number one, being passionate, and number two, having the facts by my side.
You are making people look bad. You're making your party.
You voted.
You don't want to. You don't want to say you're a Democrat.
Okay, so hold on, David.
You're making the party that you voted for look bad.
Okay, gotcha. So David,
I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world.
David,
you simply do.
Let's go through the list in the last 6 weeks. David, is Donald Trump making the Republicans look bad when he blames plane crashes on DEI? I'm just going to give you a bunch of yes or no questions. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. When Donald Trump called Liz Warren Pocahontas, does he make the Republicans look bad?
No.
So you can call someone of Indian descent Pocahontas, and somehow you think that's acceptable for the president.
Because she was caught red-handed.
She was not called red-handed. She was not called red-handed. I disagree. When Donald,
come on,
I disagree. Hold on.
Indian, it's nothing short of a.
I disagree. So, but if the president of the United States name calls people at a speech, that doesn't make the Republicans look bad. But if you think the tone of my voice is too loud on a Piers Morgan, hold on. But if you think I'm too loud on the Piers Morgan show, I'm making the Democrats look bad. Do you think it made Donald Trump and the Republicans look bad when Donald Trump said it himself yesterday and called everybody that was on the left there lunatics? Does that make the Republicans look bad?
No, it doesn't. And I can easily explain why. Because here's why. Because when they don't stand up, when he talks about how women are raped and killed by illegal migrants, and they don't stand up and at least clap to that in unison, yeah, they look completely insane.
Okay, so first of all, not everybody feels that way. But when Donald Trump is accused as a liable sexual abuser, and he talks about grabbing, no, he was found liable in a court of law, sir. Not accused.
In a civil court.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Does that make the Republicans look bad?
Because it's not a criminal.
Does that make the when somebody is found liable for sexual abuse? Does that make the Republicans look bad?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I mean,
Okay,
because you
hold
have
on,
to look at
David.
the-
Hold on, David. David, just bear with me for 1 second, okay? David, bear with me. So David doesn't think calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas make the Republicans look bad. David doesn't think Donald Trump yesterday calling every Democrat there lefty lunatics makes the Republicans look bad. David doesn't think Donald Trump found liable for sexual abuse makes the Republicans look bad. But somehow I make the Democrats look bad because I raised my voice with passion on the Piers Morgan show. David, you're smarter than that. Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, look. I'm a Republican. I'm totally willing
It's
to
called a
criticize
double
when they're doing
standard.
things that are being.
He's the president
look,
of the
look.
United. Hold on. He's the president of the United States. I'm a radio host. And you're okay with
I
the
understand,
president acting
I'm
like
not-
that?
I can explain because you have to look at the context of each individual thing. When he calls her Pocahontas, it's because she made herself look like a fool pretending she was an American Indian. And when he calls them lunatics, it's because they can't even stand up for things that we should all stand up in unison.
How about when
And
he
even
how about when he
Piers Morgan
how about when he
talked about
attacked
that on
John
his show.
McCain? How about when he attacked John McCain? He said he didn't respect John McCain because he was captured. Do you have an excuse for that one as well?
I agree. That was a stupid comment from him. And I'm not defending every
No.
single thing he does.
A
What do you
stupid
mean? No, I agree. It
a
was
stu-
it was a
no.
bad remark.
Okay. Stupid comment is when you say something that might not be factually accurate. That's not stupid. That is beyond disrespectful and despicable.
Okay.
I have
yes,
never,
you're right. It is beyond
I have
disrespectful.
never in my life, the worst thing I will do is call somebody a right-wing buffoon or a moron. Never in my life have I ever called that or called someone that or attacked someone's service. Never in my life.
If you don't want Democrats to look in the mirror, get ready to lose 2020.
Okay, hold on, David, let's focus here. I'm a guy who raised my voice on the Piers Morgan show, and somehow you think I'm bad for the Democrat Party, which is absurd.
No. Let me explain. It's because it's not. I'm not acting like it's just you. It's the party in general. Look, even Bill Maher said a while ago, who's obviously no friend to Trump. He said Democrats have this habit of being smug and condescending and talking down to people, which they do. To David Pakman, by the way, and that's how a lot of these Democrats act. And people are simply tired of it because of their tone and their attitude. I mean, they act like you're a hateful bigot because you don't want a male, to walk into a woman's bathroom. How is it even a conversation?
David, you're making Republicans look really bad right now. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, how is that?
I'll tell you why. Because this is not a top 5 issue or a top 10 issue in any poll across the country.
It doesn't have to be to still be important. People have daughters.
I think
it doesn't have to be a top issue.
David,
people have daughters, and they don't want their daughters to go into bathrooms with men. It's not a top 5 issue.
David, you're making the Republicans look really bad. So, David, can you cite me any type of evidence that would prove that a transgender is more likely to commit a crime in a bathroom than somebody like you or me? Do you have any evidence to prove that?
No, and
okay.
Can I quickly explain?
No, wait a second. You have
no
evidence.
I'd like to just elaborate on that.
Okay, but hold on.
Do you need data to prove to you that a man, scientific data shows that males aren't going to harass women in bathrooms? What? I mean, just on the surface.
So let's talk about that, David. David, let's talk about that. You voted for the guy who ran pageants and for sexual reasons, which he admitted on the Howard Stern show, went into a bunch of teenage women's locker rooms, admitted that he went in there without their permission, talked about them sexually.
Wait, do you think that's wrong for what do you think what he did was wrong?
David, hear me out.
Sure.
You're talking about transgenders with no evidence that they're committing any crimes going in there, and they're not going in there, last I checked, talking about going in there sexually, yet you decided to vote for the guy who intentionally, for sexual purposes, wanted to see a bunch of teenagers undressing naked without permission. David, you struggle with double standards.
Think transgender should be allowed in women's
David,
that's completely insane.
David, you voted for the guy who sexually went into women's locker rooms.
The same argument can be applied to Democrats.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Here's why. No, it is not. No, it is. No, it is not. And here is why you are wrong. And by the way, here goes your standards again. The president of the United States, the leader of the free world, you voted for him. Oh, well, transgenders do the same thing. Even if that was true, which it wasn't, you have double standards that you struggle with. But for example, it's not the same thing. If you can find me a transgender that openly admits to going into restrooms for sexual purposes, then I will agree with you. but you have no idea what you're talking about, because the transgenders that I talk to are not going into restrooms for sexual reasons. Donald Trump did. Do you not understand that fundamental difference? You are making it sound like every transgender woman who goes into a woman's bathroom is just, excuse me. I'll say it, David, I'll characterize it the way I want to. You are saying that every transgender woman that goes into a woman's bathroom is doing it for sexual reasons. Is that what you're trying to claim on this show right now? You know the thought process.
No, that's not what I'm claiming.
Well, guess what?
That's not what I'm claiming.
Okay, I'm glad we came to that agreement, because Donald Trump went into a female locker room with teenage girls for sexual purposes. How do we know this? Because he admitted it on the Howard Stern show. You are trying to compare the two, and I just proved to you that there is absolutely no comparison. None, zero. But you're the kind of person that wants to talk about transgenders, David. What is Donald Trump's healthcare policy? Can you please tell me what the replacement plan to Obamacare is?
So what aboutism?
No, not what aboutism. I just proved you wrong. There's nothing else to discuss with the transgenders in bathrooms.
There absolutely is, because it's still an issue, because Democrats don't
still
stand
an
up
issue.
and applaud Trump when he says,
well, guess what, David?
Can't enter a woman's bathroom.
Well, guess what, David?
How is this even a conversation?
Guess what, David? It's not an issue for me. Do you want to know why? Because when I go into a restroom, I'm not looking to my left and my right to see, who's transgender, who's not transgender. It's an issue for you because it's an issue for you because quite frankly, sir,
where women change.
Sir, I think
are you gonna answer that question?
When I finish speaking, I will answer your question.
Okay.
Quite frankly, sir, I think it's a big issue for you because you don't like transgenders. You think it's weird. You think it's wrong. Ridiculous. I think
it's weird when males enter a woman's bathroom. Yeah, you're right. I think that's weird.
Okay. Do you think it's okay? Well, it's one thing if you think it's weird. What do you think about Donald Trump going into girls' locker rooms set for sexual reasons? How would you characterize that? Is that weird? I'm curious.
Yes, it's inappropriate. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just inappropriate. That's all.
It's complete. Yeah, it's wrong. And if I've seen any substantial evidence that he did that, and
if you see any okay, so hold on for a second. I'm so glad you brought up substantial evidence. You just tried to make the correlation that transgenders going into women's bathrooms it's sexual with no evidence. I just told you that Donald Trump went into women's locker rooms and admitted on the Howard Stern show, which is public knowledge, that he did it for sexual purposes because he gloated about it. And you're saying if you have the evidence, David, it's out there. You know what the evidence is. Why would you even begin to say that?
Can I ask you a question? Do you?
Yeah, but you're not addressing what I just said.
Transgender women, which are males, you think they should be allowed to enter women's bathrooms, which I don't know why you think that, but okay. Should they be allowed to enter women's locker rooms and change in front of them? That's happened.
Okay, so do
you agree with that?
There is a difference between women going into transgender
yes
women.
Yes or no, Brian? Yes or no?
Okay, guess what? I answer the question the way I want to. You can choose to either listen or interrupt me, and then we're going to move on to the next caller, okay? Now, you're making Republicans look really bad because you're interrupting me and you're projecting and you're yelling. So, David, you're making Republicans look really bad.
Doing that. No,
David, stop making Republicans look really bad and let me finish. Can we do that? Can we play that? Okay, sure. Thank you. Don't make Republicans look bad. Don't interrupt. So, David, here's the deal, right? There is a difference between going into a locker room and getting naked and going into a women's restroom, doing your business in a stall and leaving. Do you not understand the difference?
Of course I do. And
okay, again, so I will answer. So I will answer.
Enter a woman's bathroom. Then why do you? Then you don't think they should be allowed to enter a woman's locker room?
I just explained to you the difference.
No, yeah, but here's the thing: how can you not understand that both scenarios are completely inappropriate? How do you not get that?
I don't believe. Okay, let me be very clear on this so you can understand. And please don't make Republicans look bad. Don't interrupt me. So if you are exposing yourself to somebody else, no matter what is between your legs, that is very different than going into a bathroom stall. Last I checked, there are not urinals in a woman's bathroom. There are stalls.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Okay, excuse me. If you listen to me, stop making Republicans look bad. You interrupted again. If you listen to me, you will understand. You see, David, in women's restrooms, there's something called a stall. You have privacy. In a locker room scenario, men or transgender women that haven't had the surgery that still have men's parts. No, I'm not okay with that. They are two very different scenarios. Do you not understand the difference that I'm trying to explain to you?
I understand the difference.
Then don't ask me. Then don't ask me a stupid question. They're not the same.
No, it's not a stupid question. They look. I mean, if you had a daughter, would you think, hey, you know what, this transgender woman, this male?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Do you have a daughter, David? Do you have a daughter?
Going to die on.
Do you have a daughter, David? You don't.
But I have nieces that are 4 or 5 years old.
David, if you had a daughter and she looked into your eyes and said, "Why would you vote for the guy that bragged sexually about going into women's locker rooms with teenagers?" I'm wondering, since we're going to get personal and talk about do you have a daughter, what would you say if you had a daughter to somebody like that? What would be your response? It's just weird. Is that would be your response?
Well, my honest response that I would tell if I had a daughter and she asked me that question, I would say, look, the guy's clearly a pig. He's disgusting. He thinks women are in terms of policy and as a leader.
No. Hold on, David. David, hold on, David. One second, David.
Sure.
Forgive me. One second, David. Okay. You're a pig when you say you grab women by the genitals. I agree. That's a pig. Donald Trump is a pig. When you brag sexually about going into teenage locker rooms, one can make the argument you're a pedophile. A pig is talking about grabbing women by the genitals. It's disgusting. We agree. I'm not talking about that comment. I'm talking about bragging sexually about going into teenage girls' locker rooms. So with all respect, it's not a pig. You are literally a pedophile. That's what Donald Trump did. Do you not understand the difference between somebody that's a pig and somebody that wants to see teenage girls naked? Do you not understand the difference?
First of all, if you want to get real technical, pedophile is for a certain age limit. It's not instantly under 18. There's different.
I see. So a 55 or 60-year-old man who wants to see a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old girls naked is not a pedophile.
Okay.
Huh?
The description.
Hold on. I want to ask you a direct question. A 55-year-old man bragging sexually about going into locker rooms with 14 and 15-year-old girls to see them naked is not the definition of a pedophile. David, is that your response?
It's called an epiphile. There's a different terminology for it. And look, I personally feel that, that person would be...
you have excuses for everything.
It's a literal definition. Look, I would personally colloquially refer to that guy as a pedophile. All right. The thing of it is...
So you voted for a pedophile. David, repeat after me because you're making Republicans look bad, right? David, you voted... David, you just admitted... No, it's not. David, let's try to connect the dots. You just admitted that Donald Trump is a pedophile. David, who did you vote for in 2024?
See, Brian, again...
Nope. You're going to answer my question. David just admitted that Donald Trump is a pedophile. David, please answer my question. David, who did you vote for in 2024?
This is a ridiculous... See, I'm not...
David, I'm going to ask you now for a third time because you're making Republicans look really bad in this conversation. David, I'm going to ask you one more time. David, you just admitted that Donald Trump is a pedophile, which I appreciate because he is. He bragged about a man in his 50s wanting to see a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old girls naked. I appreciate you admitting he's a pedophile. David, can you please share with us, who did you vote for in 2024?
I told you I voted for Trump.
Thank you. So thank you for admitting, David, that you voted for a pedophile, but I know you have issues with me because I got passionate on the Piers Morgan show today. David, I appreciate you admitting that you voted for a pedophile. Please don't ever call into this show and say that I'm bad for Democrats. You're not bad for Republicans. You're bad for America because you voted for a pedophile and you just admitted it. Checkmate. Have a nice day.